Hello, Professor Zouros. How are you?
Good morning.
Thank you so much for the acceptation of our invitation to be on this seminary. I would like to make a small introduction of Professor N.Zouros. He is the coordinator, or is the president of the Global Geoparks Network. In fact, he was one of the founders of the Global Geoparks. He is in charge since the beginning from the Lesbos Island UNESCO Global Geopark in Greece, and he is for sure one or even he is the person with most experience on UNESCO Global Geoparks, and during a long time was also the coordinator of the European Global Geoparks. Thank you so much for once again for the acceptance of our invitation. And now, Professor N.Zouros, we invite you as a keynote speaker on this event. So you have the floor is yours. You can share your presentation, of course, and thank you.
Thank you, Professor Arthur Sa. It's a great honor and pleasure to be today with you and share some of the activities of the Global Geoparks Network. I cannot share my screen. I think it's you should allow me to share my screen in order to...
Let me see. I will. Yes. Okay, now you are allowed to. In the bottom, you have sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, I'm trying to. I think that I have to.
Okay. It's already so.
Okay, I hope that you can see my screen now.
Yes, but we are seeing all the slides of your presentation.
Yes, I have made the main one. It's not possible to see.
No, you need to enlarge the presentation.
Yes, I did it. No?
No.
I'm sorry. Now?
No.
I'm doing...
Put in presentation mode.
I do exactly that, but I don't know why.
In this moment, we are seeing the first 27 slides of your presentation.
I see. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I have
Go
to
to the bottom.
connect
Professor Zouros, please go to the bottom of your screen, and you will see a symbol of
Yeah, he's there.
the symbol in the bottom of projection of screen. Não queria que isto
Não, eu não posso.
Uh,
Ele estava lá.
if you see
You already?
below
Yes,
slide,
he's there.
yeah, that's
he's
it.
there.
That's it. No. Click.
Yeah, but
Click on it.
yeah, he knows, but
It's not working.
I click, but I don't understand why it does not count. To me, it counts.
Click in the first slide. Click in the first slide.
double click in the first slide. Yes, there. Okay.
Oh, it works.
And now enlarge.
Okay. Do you see now my enlarged?
Not enlarged. It's some problem with the presentation. Because we are seeing not the full screen, only the small one. In any case, if you are unable to. Yeah, sorry, only one thing that I forgot that Professor N.Zouros, he is also the shareholder of the UNESCO share on geoparks and sustainable development of insular and coastal areas from the university. So, Professor, if so, please, you have the floor.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
For the technical problems. I am trying to. I can see in my computer, in fact, the presentation mode, and I really don't understand why this problem occurs. As I said before, I would like to thank Professor Arthur for the invitation to be with you today. We shared the last 20 years with Professor Sa this adventure, which is the building of the UNESCO Global Geoparks program. And I'm going to give more emphasis in the role of the UNESCO Global Geoparks on territorial sustainable development. Well, there is, during the last years, the last decades, there is a misuse of our planet from our societies. And that's why the UNESCO is trying to give the word to our planet, just to raise the issue that we need to continue working with our planet in harmony as we did in the past, and the that tries to reconnect the people with our planet. In fact, there are several emblematic areas around the globe that participate in this global network, in this big new UNESCO project that tries to see in an holistic manner the management of some very special areas in our planet, putting together the abiotic nature, the biodiversity, but also the cultural heritage of the human communities and the communities themselves as the facts that exist on the territory and are affecting every change in this territory. So we see one of our emblematic areas, the Ngorongoro Lengai UNESCO Global Geopark, which is also a World Heritage Site, and we see this hotspot of biodiversity, which is also one of the emblematic areas to understand the evolution and the geology of the African continent. The whole idea of establishing this UNESCO program had the roots in 1991, when UNESCO organized an international symposium on the conservation of geological heritage in Digne, in France. And
Professor Zouros, sorry, yes. I think that you are already seeing your PowerPoint, but here stay in the first slide.
Maybe you can try to click again in the projection.
What can I do?
For some reason, the PowerPoint presentation is not running here. Yes, we are seeing now Ngorongoro World Heritage Site in Tanzania.
Okay.
And yes, when you enter, it's moving. Now it's with the image from Haute-Provence.
Okay. And in this conference, we had the International Declaration on the Rights of the Memory of the Earth. Coming from that declaration, in 2000, 4 territories from Europe with exceptional geological heritage organized the first European network of geoparks. And 4 years later, under the auspices of UNESCO, the Global Geoparks Network was formed, and the first UNESCO International Conference on Geoparks took place in Beijing, and in that case, we had the first 25 members of the global network. In 2015, after almost 11 years of this global network, the General Conference of UNESCO adopted the proposal for the establishment of the International Geoscience and Geoparks Program with 2 pillars. One, the existing program of IGCP, and the second one, which is the UNESCO Global Geopark. Nowadays, we have 177 territories in 46 countries. 94 of them are in Europe, 66 in Asia and Pacific, 10 in Latin America and Caribbean, 5 in North America, and 2 in Africa. We do understand that this program, as a young program, which was established in 2015, is not well represented in all parts of the world, but we need to make any possible effort in order to have better distribution of these territories. And I take the opportunity to thank Professor Arthur Sa for supporting the establishment of new geoparks in Africa under the new program of UNESCO and of the Global Geoparks Network, for the support of territories wishing to participate in this program, especially in the underrepresented areas of our planet. This is the distribution of UNESCO Global Geoparks. Well, what exactly are the geoparks? The geoparks are a new innovative concept that in areas with outstanding geological heritage sites, where there is a management using the holistic approach of the resources of the territory for the benefit of the local communities, which can be used as a new tool for the sustainable local development. UNESCO Global Geopark should be single unified geographical areas where sites and landscapes of international geological significance are managed with an holistic concept of protection, education, research, and sustainable development. Well, in geoparks, we should see the geopark resources. We have the geopark heritage, including all forms of heritage. We have the local communities, which is the human capital, and we want, through a bottom-up approach, to engage those local communities in the sustainable development strategy, which is the tool for the governance of these territories. And the heritage that we are looking for is not just the geological heritage sites, but also the landscapes, the areas of ecological value, and the cultural heritage sites, both tangible and intangible. Well, geoparks are hosting really outstanding landscapes. We can see some of the pictures from the different geoparks. For example, this one from Haute-Provence in southern France. So the forces of the margins of the two plates, the African and the European one, that form this spectacular landscape of the Haute-Provence. Or this one, again, where we have plate boundaries, the Rinjani Lombok UNESCO Global Geopark in Indonesia, an emblematic volcano with a lake and young cone, or the outstanding landscapes in South America, in Cutralcura UNESCO Global Geopark in Chile, where we have these volcanic sites with special biodiversity. Where these outstanding landscapes, of course, include also the Silene stone forest in China, the karstic landscapes of Vietnam, the Dong Van Karst, or sites which are landmarks in Earth's history and human evolution, like the Vulcan Eiffel craters in Germany, the Basque Coast in Spain, the Yanqing UNESCO Global Geopark, where we have the trace fossils of the dinosaurs just outside Beijing. And of course, in Portugal, here we have the ichnofossils of Cruziana in Atoteio UNESCO Global Geopark. And here are some strange structures. You see dikes from the city dikes and pillow lavas from the deep oceanic crust in Troodos UNESCO Global Geopark in Cyprus. Geoparks are offered as important sites to understand the evolution of our planet. But it's not only geology. Geoparks are hosting unique natural ecosystems, from the conifer forests that have been flourished on the geological remains, that glacial movement created in Finland, in the Rokwa Geopark, till the mangrove forest in Langkawi Geopark in Malaysia. All kinds of ecosystems exist in our geopark. And here we see the biodiversity in Ngorongoro Lengai, or in Colca and Volcanes de Andagua in Peru. It's so important to have to see not only the abiotic nature, but also the important ecosystems that are completely connected with this important geodiversity. And of course, endemic species here in Huangshan UNESCO Global Geopark in China, the special pine that is there, or the rich wetlands in Lesbos Island UNESCO Global Geopark. And of course, geoparks are hosting cultural heritage sites because the people inspired by nature to create cultural monuments, and this is the archaeological site of Pestum in Cilento and Vallo di Diano, UNESCO Global Geopark in Italy, or in central Catalonia, the famous monastery of Montserrat, in the heart of the beautiful landscape, granitic landscape in the central part of Catalonia, or the Mongao Groves in Dunhuang, UNESCO Global Geopark, important monument sites of World Heritage in the heart of our geological monument. And also sometimes, for some of our most important geological monuments, cultural monuments, sorry, is the geological conditions that play a basic role, a key role for the stability and conservation of these monuments. And a great example is the Great Wall of China in the Yanqing UNESCO Global Geopark. Geoparks are working and facing new challenges. There are territories for the implementation of the 17 goals of sustainable development. Geoparks have the challenge to connect the territory with the society, and that's how geoparks will fulfill their mission on the protection and enhancement of the territorial, natural and cultural heritage, and use them as a main element for the sustainable local development through their effective operation, the implementation of specific action, and the creation of measurable results. Those results will connect the geoparks with the creation of new jobs, of economic development, which will be based on the characteristics and the richness and the heritage of each one of the territories included in this network, not by destroying them, not by putting the heritage as a limitation to the development, but just in the contrary, as the main factor for this development. So we are working on geoconservation, on the protection of this heritage, on nature conservation. We are working to build community resilience on natural disasters and climate change, because the societies who understand how our planet is operating, they are ready, much more ready to confront the challenges of the disasters and the climate crisis. And of course, we work on education, environmental education, trying to explain to the young generation those values that are included in the sites of geological heritage. We are trying to support geotourism activities which will bring economic development to our rural territories, And this tourism will be the driving force for the sustainable development, because tourism is not just the hosting of the tourists, but is always the services that geoparks are offering to their visitors. And also geoparks are offering visibility through the promotion and of their achievements for the benefit of the local communities. Geoparks become again signing places to attract more people in our rural territories. One of the main ideas for the geopark operation, of course, is geoconservation. You can see several examples of protecting geological heritage sites. You can see shelters, for example, protecting fragile areas. In situ museum, which help us to keep our heritage sites in our rural territories and not to move them to big museums. Construction of museums in situ, in the place where fossils are found in different parts, and also enhancement of geological heritage sites where big and beautiful geological stories can be told and explained to the visitors. Here we have a beautiful example from Ito-Igawa UNESCO Global Geopark in Japan, showing the limit between the American croxes central Japan. And of course, on geoconservation, we have also the collaboration of different teams, geopark teams, because geoparks is a network of collaboration. Here we can see Greek and Chinese technicians working on the conservation of fossils. But also biodiversity protection is very important for geoparks. Biodiversity protection and the restoration of the, for example, the brown bear in Gamello Brenta UNESCO Global Geopark. It's not only having impact on the natural environment of the area, but reflects to the increase of the benefit for the local communities. For example, the honey produced in this area had prices much higher than all the other honey produced in other areas. And another example for the reintroduction of the oriental white stork in Sanin-Kaigan, where the introduction of organic farming helped to the creation of organic rice in the area, and at the same time was the important element for the reintroduction of the white stork, which became the quality label of this organic rice with 10 times more price than the other kind of rice in other areas outside the geopark. So you see how geoparks are working for nature protection, but also at the same time can be an example which will help the local economy. I know that my time is limited, so I would like to say a few more about the role of geoparks in fighting climate change and natural hazards. Geoparks have a contribution in geohazard risk reduction and climate change adaptation. Here is an example how geoparks educate the society at large, having the example of previous past disasters, and how we can use a school, for example, in N.Zouros volcanic area in Japan, in order to educate the people on how to behave in case of a volcanic activity, or this, for example, is another example on geohazard education, a seismic table with strong seismic motion simulation help the students to understand how to behave in case of earthquakes in Greece. And this example helped after a strong earthquake that occurred in 2017 and the school was collapsed to have no victims in this school. So this underlines the role of geoparks in geohazard risk reduction. So we celebrate a variety of days, international days in geoparks, and one of them is the disaster risk reduction. Environmental education is one of the highest priorities for geoparks, because we need to educate the young generation how to confront with the challenges of the 21st century. And we know very well that water, for example, is very important, and water pollution is something that we need to stop. And here the children in Rockwell Geopark in Finland have a special training on that. This is another example in Germany and Turkey, in volcanic areas, education or a youth camp in geoparks. In Muskowatz UNESCO Global Geopark in Germany and Poland, enhancing geological heritage, but also building peace between the European communities coming from rural areas. This shows how collaboration among geoparks can improve the links between the different populations on the European continent. There are also school exchanges and visits in geoparks between, for example, schools from Japan and schools from Europe, or university field courses. This is the China University of Geosciences, Beijing, in Lesbos UNESCO Global Geopark in Greece. But also vocational training, which helps unemployed young people to have a new education and find work in geoparks. And international collaboration is also crucial for this kind of exchange. But of course, geoparks and geotourism, geopark creates visitors' experience that allow these visitors to share the values that we have in our territory in a way that preserves and protects the region for the generations to come. And I would like to underline the Arouca Declaration, which was in a conference organized in 2011 in Portugal, in Arouca Geopark, where geotourism was defined as the tourism which sustains and enhances the identity of a territory, taking into consideration its geology, environment, culture, aesthetics, heritage, and the well-being of its residents. This is how we work for the development of sustainable tourism in geoparks, with a variety of activities such as geosite interpretation, guided tours, trekking, horse riding, cycling, georafting, running, boat cruise. And these examples from different geoparks you can see here, for example, from the Apuan Alps in Italy, or a group of geopark guides engaging local communities in Araripe Global Geopark in Brazil, and the same in Bergstrasse Odenwald in Germany. So you see young people engaged in the geopark activities both in Europe and in the world. Outdoor activities in geoparks here are cycling or horse riding in Massif des Baux in France, climbing in Forest 4 Geopark in the United Kingdom, outdoor activities in different and athletic activities like the Geopark Challenge in Finland, and of course boat cruise in Basque Coast, on Shetland Islands, both of them are famous UNESCO Global Geoparks, or in Hong Kong with a special boat that permits the people to see also the beauty of the coasts that we have and the structures. And of course, geosnorkeling, underwater geoheritage in Beigua, UNESCO Global Geopark in Italy. Geoparks work for the sustainable development because their contribution to the sustainable local development concerns not only the increase of the visitors, but the creation of new infrastructure and improve the accessibility of the rural areas, employment of the young people that work there, establishment of new tourism activities which for the first time are introduced in these territories, promotion of the local accommodation and gastronomy without the creation of huge hotels, enhancement of local products, creation of women cooperatives, and improving the living conditions of the local residents. This is a couple that started a new life in Zigong, UNESCO Global Geopark in China, due to the establishment of the Geopark, and they are very proud to show the logo and the label of the Geopark outside their enterprise. And this is geocooking in Azores, in the geothermal field in Furnes, in San Miguel, or the local food preparation by women cooperative in Lesbos Geopark. And of course, all geoparks are organizing agritourism festival for the promotion of local food and products. This is just some example on how these territories can contribute to the local sustainable development, how they can reinforce the local communities to help to the regeneration of local communities through activities in nature, through the enhancement of the local production and promotion it to the people wishing to visit these territories. That's why UNESCO Global Geoparks are territories of resilience, because we overpass the difficulties, we use our heritage for building a better quality of life for our geopark. And that's what we are trying for, is to use UNESCO Global Geopark as a new quality label for rural areas around the globe. So thank you so much for your attention.